Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Unfortunately, my daughter will be back. She has some things she'd like to express to me about Megan Thee Stallion, Love Island, and all of this other stuff. But anyway, before I get into that, I have more important matters to get to first because we have an important update on the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, now in its sixth week. The judge overseeing the trial says he expects things to wrap up before July 4th. Multiple sources have confirmed to People that Combs will not take the stand in his own defense, despite the high profile nature of the proceedings and the serious charges he faces. The decision comes as both legal teams prepare for what will be the final phase of the trial. No question, it's a wise decision by Sean Diddy Combs. Ladies and gentlemen, he can't testify on his own behalf. Sex trafficking and racketeering, I understand the specificity of the charges, but not with the incriminating evidence that has already been put out there about him. You got a video of him beating up his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, snatching her, throwing her to the ground, kicking her, throwing a vase at her, stuff like that. We've got testimony about some of his proclivities and some of the things that he compelled her to do, whether he forced her or she did so willingly of her own volition, is something that's open for debate in a lot of people's eyes. But nevertheless, there's nothing about him that's a sympathetic figure. Now, if there was a way that he could get on that stand and be a sympathetic figure, as opposed to somebody who can definitively convince you that sex trafficking and racketeering has nothing to do with him, I don't know how you can okay him testifying on his own behalf. I can't see that. I don't see that. That's just where I'm at with it. Seriously. Because ultimately, if you get on the stand and you raise your right hand and you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, and they start asking you about some of your behaviors, yeah, you can sit up there and say it's not sex trafficking or racketeering. You could say it's not against the law. But if the jury deems it heinous, we all know that juries can decide, the hell with the specifics of the charges. We want your ass in jail. You got to go. And that's the issue here. So with that, I say to you, he's making the right decision. As hard as it is to sit there and let people talk about you and have to listen to what they have to say for weeks upon weeks at a time while you give no retort to debunk those claims, those salacious claims, those insidious and incendiary claims they aim against you. Hey, him opening his mouth might not be the wisest thing. So when I saw the news that he wasn't going to testify on his own behalf, I was like, it's pretty smart. Because I don't think that he can garner any sympathy from a jury. And I don't even think it's about the charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. I think the things that have been said about him, that have been introduced about him, that exes and former employees and others have said about him are so incriminating. Unless you can flat out point out that they're lies, he shouldn't speak. I think he's making the right decision. That's where I stand with it.